welcome to the first week in May. Our theme this month is Hop to It, and our whole theme is built around this idea of hopping to the jobs that God has for us. So we're gonna do the story of Solomon building the temple, Joshua leading the people, Moses helping the Israelites win the battle by holding his staff above his head, and the last one is David and Goliath. So we're going to talk about all these big jobs that God had for people in the Bible, and God has big jobs for us, and we can hop to those jobs that he has for us. So your first activity for Make It Fun is called Floating Down the River, and you're going to have some popsicle sticks, and you'll have a bucket of water, and so you can let the kids put their stick in the water and watch it float, and you could even try to create waves or blow on them and see if they'll float along in the bucket. And then you can talk about how today in our Bible story we're going to learn about a time when someone had a job, and in order to do that job they had to get some logs, and the way that they carried them to the place they needed them was they floated them down the water. And that will lead you into your Bible story. So you have some pictures for your Bible story, but if you want to bring these actual things from home, that would be awesome too. So if you have like a tree branch that you could bring, that would be super cool. And then an actual hammer would be fun, and a paintbrush. But if you don't, you can just use these pictures. So before story time, you're actually going to want to hide this tree branch somewhere in the room, because during the story time, you're going to have the kids look around for the tree branch, try to find the tree branch, because the workers that were working on this big project needed wood, and wood comes from trees. So that's that. You're also the kids are gonna help you with the building. They can pretend to have pretend hammers. You can bring your real one from home or show them this hammer and pretend to build together, and then you can pretend to paint together. And then the last picture in here is the finished temple. So that is your story. For the activity after the story, you're going to build the story. So if you have really little guys, you can just have them build it all together. So your lesson says the order that these will go in right there. But first you're just gonna have Solomon, the picture of Solomon, and that will go on the bottom. And then you'll have the logs floating in the river. That one also goes on the bottom. And on top of that, you have a huge crowd of workers. And then the workers are building the temple. And then King Solomon is standing in front of the finished temple. And when you're all done, you'll have built the story together. If you have older kids, like pre-K, kinder kids, you could make it like a little relay race. You could have them all work together, and you could put the blocks on one side and then the area on the other side, and they have to run and get a block and then build it onto the story. Try to do something like that. Some of you will have Lego blocks. Some of you will have those cardboard, just stacking blocks. So that you can do after the story to review. And then my favorite part of this week, for your craft, you guys are gonna be making little tool belts. So this is the tool belt. Each kid will get 3 tools, and you will staple the tools onto a ribbon. And some of you have black ribbon or white or whatever color, but every child gets 3 tools. They can color their tools, and then you will just need to staple the tools on, and it should be long enough for them to tie it loosely around their waist if they want to, and then they can walk out with their little tool belts. And you can talk about how Solomon probably needed some tools to build the temple. It was a very big job, and on their tool belts it says what we learned, the Bible story, and then it also says God helps me do big things. That's our We Discover for this month. Who helps me do big things? God helps me do big things. So that is the craft. And then at the end, you'll have your Make It Real time, and you can do your Bible verse together. So our Bible verse this month is 2 Chronicles 32:8. But the Lord our God is with us. And you give yourself a big hug. He will help us. And this is sign language for help. So you put a thumbs up and you help it up. And that is 2 Chronicles 32:8. But the Lord our God is with us. He will help us. And that is your Bible verse. And then you can do your Make It Real and your journal and prayer time together. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!